Hi Cancer, I hope that you're all doing well. Where I'm seeing us be within the current energy is you going through a process right now where you can really be tuning in and listening to the way that you feel, getting in touch with the way that you feel, and following the rhythm of your heart and where you are being led, and really this is a time where there's a big highlight on the way that you feel, and it can be moves that you make and decisions that are made as they reflect those things that you're getting in touch with. It even seems like there may be something where you're following your heart or you're tuning in, and it may be something that challenges you in certain ways, but it can also be something that you feel like you need to kind of stick with this and see it through. It feels like it's a matter of like how open your heart is and maybe how much you really trust yourself, how much you even validate your feelings. We're starting off with Knight of Wands. Yeah, maybe you have to do something where this can be like having to break out of bounds or like chains, anything that would keep you in a space where you don't want to be or block you from somewhere you want to be. It can be a time when you're addressing these things. It can be a time when you're confronting these things. It can even just be like, I know that I'm going to have to be brave here. I'm going to have to be courageous. I'm really going to have to harness my energy and move fully forward. But it does mean anything that you may have been bound by and stuff. It's like a fear-based thing. Anything that you may have been bound by attachment-wise, fear-wise, looking at that and saying, if I stay chained to this, I'm not going to be able to move where I want to move, and I want to move there. So it feels like working with that part of yourself that can kind of stop you from living your life on the terms that you want to live. And this means too that when it comes to like you taking initiative and whatnot within your life, because overall, I think that this is really like you going towards the things that you want to go towards, and you being the one that's the initiator to do that. And also too, when we think about Cancer, Cancer is a cardinal sign, and cardinal signs are the ones that get the ball rolling. So we really do have to harness and embrace that. And it's going, because it's a water sign, it's connected with what it is that you're feeling, and are you going to take action based off of that or not. So it can be a time when this really becomes emphasized, because it's like, if you want the future that you want, you're going to have to be brave here, and you're going to have to trust yourself, and you're going to have to be really connected with your personal power in order to do this. And if you have trouble with that at times, or it's like, I feel like sometimes it can be easier than other times for you to get in touch with it. It's like once it's there, you can feel really connected with it, but sometimes it can go in and out is what it seems like. And that's also connected with cardinal signs too, because cardinal energy, it can be this burst of energy, but then because it's like such a powerful force of a burst of energy, it kind of dies out a little bit, and then you get another burst, and then it kind of dies out a little bit. So it can be difficult to maintain that at times. So maybe that's also something that you're connecting with too, where you're getting in touch with your natural rhythm while also not shying away from the things that you want to activate and move towards. Because I even get the sense now, like you can see the bigger picture that's unfolding, and it feels like all that's needed from you is to take the steps to go in that direction. You can also have a lot of stuff when it comes to like your responsibilities and whatnot. This can be something that's coming up for you too. I'm hearing getting the job done. Overall, if you continue moving forward with this, I have to say that because it's always going to be a choice at the end of the day. Overall, if you continue moving forward in the direction that you're going in now, I'm seeing that you're going to be getting to a point where you feel so connected to what it is that you're doing, to the roles that you're playing, how you're showing up within life. It's going to be like playing all of your favorite parts, but it feels like it takes courage and stamina and bravery and inspiration and not losing focus in order for you to make that happen, because this feels like you're making moves now for the future that you want, and it can feel very challenging. I don't really think that making the plan is challenging, or you seeing the bigger picture. I don't think that that part is challenging. I think it's like motivating yourself, actually. And when you're facing difficulties, moving through them and not getting stuck there, I think that that's the most challenging part of this. It doesn't feel like the practical side of getting things done. It feels more like the motivation to even do things in the first place and get things moving. That's where you really have to connect with your personal power in order to be able to move forward. But yeah, I'm seeing you're going in a direction where you're just going to feel so in love with the things that you have going on within your life. Like, it seems like that's what this is all for. So all of the different roles that you play within your life and how you show up within your life, you're going to feel so connected to all of those things. And that's what this is for. It's like the preparation to you being able to step into that fully and be there. I'm seeing a lot of stuff that's weighing heavily on you, but I also feel like you've been doing healing simultaneously. The way that I'm seeing this Three of Swords be connected, I think overall that this is like painful stuff that you've been through that would keep you from standing within your power and making empowering choices and being brave. So there can be some type of wounding that you are moving through that's connected with that. It's really like any wounding that would hold you back from living your life in the way that you want to, from making the choices that you want to be making, from initiating the things that you want to initiate, from going after and connecting with the stuff that you want to connect with. Because it seems like this is also the stuff that could, if it's not dealt with and you're like, that's just too much to unpack and I don't want to deal with it, it feels like it doesn't allow you to get to where you want to go, and you have somewhere that you want to go. And it may feel stressful, what has to be done. It may feel like a lot, because I'm getting something about this places a lot of stress and responsibility on you, and it feels like having to carry something very, very heavy in order for you to show up. It's just required of you. And I get something about really heavy responsibility here. This can be like commitment, responsibility, all the stuff that you need to be doing. It can feel kind of draining. It can be something that feels just very stressful overall. And this feels like it has to do with stuff within 3D. So it can be stuff connected to like resources and whatnot, and also showing up in a way that we feel good about too. When with King of Pentacles, there can be stuff that's expected of us. It's like meeting our own standards, meeting the standards sometimes put on us. If you're signing on to be doing these particular things, it's expected that there are certain things that need to be done that come with those things. And that part of stuff can feel like it's weighing heavily on you too. And I think at times there can be this sort of self-doubt that comes up, not because you need to be doubting yourself, but because I think this comes from like not a totally clear self-image. Like, you may not always see yourself as the person that can show up and get things done and be brave and move through stuff. At times you can feel like not always empowered within your solar plexus is what this feels like to me. So it's like you're moving through a process that you kind of have to be in touch with your personal power in order to do it, but you may not always feel like that. So it feels like it brings attention onto that aspect of your relationship with yourself. But it's for something that you want really badly. So I see there being a very strong motivation here. But this feels like a complex having to do with self that can make it more difficult for you to move forward. Because this can even be too, like, I'm seeing something here where maybe at some point in time you looked around and wished that you had some type of support or guidance, even something like an authority figure of some sort. And you're in the process of stepping into becoming that in a way. But I think that your inner authority at times can feel shaky because maybe you didn't totally have that, or like something happened that like distorted that a bit for you. So this is something that can be coming up. It feels like it has to do with the masculine earth energy and fire energy. And in 3D, these are places where we're going to be showing up and getting things done where we can be self-reliant, especially. And if you didn't have a certain type of support, or like feels even like role model, it can feel tricky trying to find that for yourself and develop that for yourself when you're kind of just in an experimental phase of all of this. But I am seeing you be in the process of finding this within yourself. We have Page of Wands on the bottom of the deck. Page of Wands is going to be about the path that we are walking and the connection that we feel to the path that we are walking. I'm seeing you be going through a time where you have to push through, but it can feel difficult to focus and channel your energy to get through. It's like the most difficult obstacle course. And it seems like there's also something up in the air. Like for some of you, there can be something going on within a relationship that it can be certain choices haven't been made, certain things haven't been decided upon. Maybe you feel like you're not totally seeing everything yet. I see something going on there, but as far as your perception of what's going on, it can be a little different than what's happening within. It can be kind of like, if I were totally trusting my gut and my instinct and my feelings here, I would know what this is. But because I may not always be connected with that part of myself, I second guess. And then I feel like I don't necessarily know what this is. So it can be something like this that's coming up. It feels like something about the future that's undetermined still. This can be weighing heavily on you. And I also think that the part of you that has to be showing up, initiating, being brave, being bold even, if you're feeling not empowered within that part of yourself and you know it's kind of expected of you to stand within this, there can be a part of you that feels kind of like at odds a little bit with yourself, even though this is in the process of healing, because it feels like there's something here that you want. For some of you, it can be somebody that you want to connect with, but you know that you're going to have to work on unpacking something that hinders you from showing up fully with them. And it can also be with yourself too. It's not only focused on another person. You can feel like there's a part of your energy that you're not fully connecting with and you're not fully accessing, and it can sort of like confuse things at times. This means too that this can be stuff from the past that has to be dealt with. Like even if you're connecting with someone and this is connected with a relationship, this can be bringing stuff up from like your past relationships as well. And that can also be something that's being dealt with. If this Three of Swords wasn't here, it would seem like it would be a lot less stressful to move through this. It just feels like, I don't know, maybe sometimes you feel like you have a little bit of a broken foot here, and it's like, you know that you have to walk forward, but it hurts every time you stand on it, but you know that that's where you want to go. And the only way that you're going to heal the broken foot is to unpack this psychological stuff. Otherwise, you can feel like you're not really moving in the way that you want to, and it's keeping you from somewhere you want to be. Because this can, I get something again about self-image and there being like a wounded self-image. And I think really that this can come back to feeling like there may have been at some point in time in your life a figure that you were looking for or looking to and felt like was unavailable in some way to you, or like something happened. And I think this would be somebody that would have like guided you maybe in practical ways, could have been like an authority figure of some sort, somebody that would have been meant to be like encouraging and kind of like a teacher to you. I see something there. There's something there that's in the process of being healed. The way that you're healing this is that instead of looking around and being like, feeling like you're going to find this externally, it feels like turning into that version of what it was that you needed. And this is something that's in the process of happening, but it can like bring up all your emotional and psychological stuff to be doing that, because it's having you review those things. So I just think that in a major way it can, and this can even be like you felt like you weren't encouraged to do certain things, because Knight of Wands, we are encouraged and motivated to move based off of our instinct, but when we hit a phase where we were not encouraged to be doing that, we can second guess ourselves and we can feel like we weren't supported. Something like this that's coming up within the energy. And it can have you maybe even at times not knowing what's right for you on a personal level and feeling a bit of a disconnect there. And I wonder too, for some of you, you feel like you have to choose, like, either I have to choose my personal and private life, or I have to choose my, like, who I'm stepping into within the world. And it's like these things actually go very much together with one another, but they're not meant to be at odds with one another. Right now you can feel like they're kind of at odds with one another. So that's also part of this process. And for some of you, it can be reflected in a relationship that you have with somebody where you feel almost like you're a little bit at odds with them. I am seeing a strong connection there with the Two of Cups, but it can just be something that's not clear between you and this person. And it will be something that's not clear between you and yourself as well. That's how this will be connected. All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.